Hey guys, Quacker Spooks here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 6. So let's get started, shall we? The San Francisco 49ers take on the Seattle Seahawks. I am going with the 49ers for this matchup. Although they did lose to the Arizona Cardinals last week, I think that they can bounce back against the Seahawks, who had a rough time trying to beat the New York Giants. And they didn't beat the New York Giants. They lost to the New York Giants. So now they're 3-2, and the 49ers are 2-3. And I think whoever wins this game goes in the division lead for the NFC West, because the 49ers would have the tiebreaker over the Seahawks. And they would both be 3-3. But I am picking the 49ers for this matchup, and the Seahawks, both them and the Seahawks will be 3-3. The Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Chicago Bears in London, England, and I am going to pick the Bears over the Jags. The Jags are not good this year. T-Law looks pretty cooked, and I'm not exactly sure. I mean, the Bears have played solid football. Caleb Williams looks really good, well, for a rookie at least. And yeah, but I am going with the Chicago Bears. They will be 4-2. Who would have thought the Bears would start 4-2 this year? And the Jaguars, they will be 1-5. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the New Orleans Saints. I am going to go with the Bucks. They are currently 3-1. No. 4-1, I think. No, they're 3-2 because they lost to the Atlanta Falcons. But they are going to bounce back against the Saints. The Saints are also starting a rookie QB in Spencer Rattler, and I don't think he is ready to be thrown into the. I don't think he should be thrown into the fire. But the Bucks, I think, will win this game, and the Saints will be 3-3. No, 2-4. They'll be 2-4, and the Bucks, they will be 4-2. The Washington Commanders take on the Baltimore Ravens, who had a really good game against the Cincinnati Bengals. They were down 10 and then came back and won it. But I am going to go with the Washington Commanders. They have looked really good. Jaden Daniels has 1,000 passing yards already, and it's unbelievable what Jaden Daniels is doing for the Commanders. I think he is as good as they advertised him in college, and I think he's going to be the savior for that franchise. Unless he gets hurt, of course, which I don't think I don't want to jinx, but I am going to go with the Washington Commanders over the Ravens. The Ravens will be 3-3, and the Commanders, they will be 5-1, and they will have a strong lead in the NFC East. The Arizona Cardinals take on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers here. 3 years ago, I picked the Arizona Cardinals to win this game. This particular matchup was in Arizona, and they were 7-0 at the time. So, and the Packers ended up winning because of an interception by corner Rasul Douglas. So, The last time these two teams played was 2021. So, but I am going to go with the Packers again. I know I picked the Cardinals the last time. I remember that because I was upset that they lost because they were undefeated and I wanted them to stay undefeated. But I am going with the Packers over the Cardinals. They will be 4-2, and the Cardinals will be 2-4. So, yeah. The Indianapolis Colts take on the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts here. Titans coming off a bye week, and they're currently 1-3. So, and the Colts will be, I think the Colts, despite losing to Jacksonville, I think they can come back with a win here. Joe Flacco looks really good, and I think he's going to torch that Tennessee defense. So, the Colts will win, and they will be 3-3, and the Titans will be 1-4, not 1-5 because they had a bye week. So, they'll be 1-4. The Houston Texans take on the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with the Texans for their first win in New England as a franchise. CJ Stroud looks really good. They're currently 4-1, and he played well against the Buffalo Bills. I think that they can beat the New England Patriots here as well. Besides, they're having quarterback troubles as well. Jacoby Brissett isn't playing that well. And the Texans are in a completely opposite direction. So, I'm going to go with the Texans over New England, and they will be 5-1. And for the Patriots, they will be 1-5. So, not really a good year for the Pats. They just don't have the talent. They don't have the talent anymore that they used to. I think Brady kind of carried them to victory, but they just aren't that good anymore. The Cleveland Browns take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I am actually going with the Eagles. They are 2-2, coming off a bye week, and they are going to beat the Browns here. The Browns are just not good. They looked overmatched against the Washington Commanders, and they didn't show up. So, but I am going with the Philadelphia Eagles. They will be 3-2, and for the Browns, they will be 1-5. So, not a good season for the Browns anyways. Unless they can win 11 straight games and make the playoffs, but just really not a good season. And Kevin Stefanski is probably going to be fired after the year. So, I don't see him staying as the Browns coach. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Los Angeles Chargers take on the Denver Broncos. I'm going to go with the Chargers here. They're also coming off a bye week, being 2-2. And the Broncos are coming up with a great win against the Las Vegas Raiders, who aren't really that good. I really should not have picked the Raiders, but I really didn't want to root for the Broncos, so, it is what it is. But I'm going to pick the LA Chargers here. and they will be 3-2, and for the Broncos, they will be 3-3. So they'll be a game back from whatever place it is. I don't even know. I think it's like second place. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Chargers over the Broncos. The Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Las Vegas Raiders. I am going with the Steelers. They had a pretty good game against Dallas, but they just came up short. And as for the Raiders, they had a pretty embarrassing game against Denver. So, and they're currently sitting at 2-3, and the Steelers are 3-2. With this win, I think I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll be 4-2, and the Raiders will be 2-4. I don't think the Raiders are that good. And I think Aiden O'Connell starting isn't going to help. So, I also heard that they're trying to tank for a QB. So, anyways, I'm going with the Steelers. The Atlanta Falcons take on the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go with the Falcons here. They had a pretty good win against Tampa Bay on Thursday night, and Kadero Hodge saved the game for them. And screw Bucky Irving, because screw Bucky Irving. And as for the Panthers, yeah, that was not a great game against Chicago. So, really, it wasn't great. So, but I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. They will be 4-2, and the Panthers will be 1-5. I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons for this game. The Detroit Lions take on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Lions. Jared Goff looks pretty good, and they're coming off a bye week, so I think them being rested up definitely helps them. And as for the Cowboys, they're coming up from a win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think it'll be a pretty close game, but I am picking the Detroit Lions to beat the Cowboys. So they'll be 4-1. And as for the Cowboys, they will be 3-3, I think. Yeah, 3-3. So I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. Also, the bye weeks are the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Rams, and who's the last team? Who's the last team that's on the bye week? You gotta think about it. No, everybody in the NFC South is playing. Rams are on the bye week in the West. Minnesota's on a bye in the North. And then the AFC. Everybody in the AFC North is playing. Oh, it's the Dolphins. That's the last team. The Dolphins are on a bye week. So it's the Chiefs, Dolphins, Vikings, and Rams that are on a that are on bye weeks this week. So yeah. Anyways, let's keep going. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the New York Giants. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. Um, Even though they aren't good, neither of these teams are very good. And um, I think that the Bengals will win this game pretty good. I think easily. I think they'll win it very easily. And you know, the Giants will be 2-4, so these teams will both be 2-4 actually if the Bengals win. So I am going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals over the New York Giants. And last but not least, Monday Night Football. We have the Buffalo Bills taking on the New York Jets. I am going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. Um, I think the Jets firing Robert Saleh was kind of what they needed for because Robert Saleh was just holding the team back from greatness, and it just wasn't meant to be. So I think the firing of Robert Saleh is going to help the Jets in the long run, but they're being run by Jeff Ulbrich, who's the defensive coordinator and interim head coach. But the fact that Robert Saleh wanted to demote Nathaniel Hackett from play calling duties just so he can call the plays is kind of it really isn't fair to Nathaniel Hackett because although he was also holding the team back, I think Robert Saleh was kind of being a dumbass. So he kind of deserved to be fired. But the Jets will still lose because that's just typical Jets fashion. And hopefully Josh Allen is cleared to play because, he had that head injury against the Texans last week. So, but I am going with the Bills. They will be 4-2, and the Jets will be 2-4. So anyways, we'll see you guys next week on October 17th when we cover Week 7.